Hello, I'm Lord Jimscore and you're watching a Christmas special of You Have Issues, a programme all about comics. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Well, actually, not really. If you live in Gotham City, chances are you're probably going to have a really shitty Christmas. I know the protagonist of this story I'm reviewing certainly will. As it's Christmas, I've decided to review Batman Noël, an original graphic novel which is an interesting combination of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol and Batman. If any of you are expecting scenarios like Batman taking down the ghosts of Christmas past, present and future with nth metal batarangs, then I'm afraid you're sadly mistaken. Oi! F*** off! This isn't f***ing pantomime! While none of the Dickens characters appear in the story, they are replaced by some familiar DC Universe characters in an interesting tale that explores the many styles and portrayals of Batman, as well as keeping in line with the narrative of the Dickens novel. In this story, Batman plays the part of Scrooge in a costume that bears a few similarities to the one he wore in the Elseworlds tale Gotham by Gaslight. In this story, he's not miserable about the spirit of Christmas, he's just miserable. And he has a cold. The ghosts of Christmas past, present and future are played by some major DC Universe characters. I'm going to reveal the Ghost of Christmas Past in this review, but I'm going to keep a lid on the other two just in case you want to pick up a copy of this book by yourself. The artwork is utterly fantastic. It consists of beautifully detailed pencils and inks of the characters in a slightly cartoony Alex Ross way. Beautiful snowy landscapes, despite Gotham being a bit of a crapsack city. It looks delightful when it's covered in snow. This book is particularly fond of splash pages with only a line or two of dialogue or narration. Normally I'd complain about such a thing, but you know what, it's just so pretty to look at. The main protagonist is Bob Cratchit, who in this story works as a low-level henchman for the Joker in a non-violent capacity, doing messenger work simply to pay for hospital bills for his sick infant son, Tiny Tim. Bob is on his way to deliver a bag of money and to retrieve a note that the Joker left for him. Should go off without a hitch, right? Batman then shows up, exhibiting many characteristics of his Frank Miller incarnation, by throttling Bob when it's clear from the start that he doesn't pose a threat in any way, calling him scum, and then deliberately sabotaging Bob's task by frightening the crap out of him, causing him to drop the money and flee, thereby being unable to retrieve the note the Joker left for him, which will, needless to say, upset the Joker a bit, hoping that he'll come after Bob for failing him. What a dick! It wouldn't f***ing surprise me if Bruce called in sick and asked Jeremy Kyle to fill in for him. All jokes aside though, Batman's Miller-esque attitude as a Scrooge portrayal is actually really fitting, and it's put in here for a reason, and it ties up very nicely at the end. Fucking hell, what's your excuse, Frank Miller? It actually seems weird that I'm sympathising with the Gotham crook. I'm perfectly happy to cheer Batman on in his other titles when he's dishing out fist puddings to a whole alleyway full of bad guys, but here I'm actually rooting for the underdog. I really enjoy the fact that it shows Batman from a unique perspective and shows me that not everything about crime in the DC Universe is all black and white. Bob runs home in fear of the Joker finding out he was intercepted by Batman and left the money, which leads to a very heartwarming scene where he is greeted by the sight of his innocent young son Tim putting up a makeshift Christmas tree. Spending time with his son makes him feel worse for doing the work that he does, but at the same time he realises that it's all worth it. It's refreshing to see a plot device that's so widely parodied actually being played straight for once. In this scene, Bruce is in the cave delivering a theory to Alfred about Bob being a good lead to the Joker, going so far as taking a risk of the Joker paying a visit in retaliation for Bob leaving behind the money. Batman exhibits more cases of dickery as he explains that he won't go easy on this henchman because he has a son, believing he'll raise the boy to be exactly like him. Alfred is appalled at Bruce openly putting a child at risk and reminds him of another child he'd put at risk, Robin. Alfred leaves Bruce in the cave to ponder on his mission. Whilst he's moping around in the cave, he thinks his mind is playing tricks on him when he sees a vision of Robin appear to him in the armour display case. It's implied that the analogue for Jacob Marley is none other than Jason Todd, the second Robin whose brutal death haunted Batman for many years. It is very brief, however, and Bruce just blinks it off. Batman is then called by Gordon to question Catwoman, who has information on the Joker. After catching up with her, we then get a brief allusion to Batman's early days being more exciting for him, and also invoking the classic trope of an ambiguous romance with his feline foe. But as the years went on, he has now become miserable and bitter and only seems to be patrolling Gotham reluctantly. That's as far as I'll go concerning crucial plot details. As I've mentioned before, Batman's draconian demeanour was put in this book for a reason. It does tie up to a very nice conclusion that will warm your heart. It results in an essential DC Christmas read that I would highly recommend. I've not been able to do videos much lately because I've just been too busy to get any done, but thankfully I've organised myself so that you'll see a lot more videos in 2012, so again, sorry for the delay. Also, I'll be writing some articles that will be going on the comics section of a new webzine that will go live on New Year's Day. I'll be contributing reviews of new releases, rants, and the occasional interview. Be sure to check it out. I'm going to post a video on New Year's Day with all the details about it and where you can find the first few articles. Thank you for watching the You Have Issues Christmas special. I hope all of you have a wonderful Christmas and a very happy New Year.